What has nature done for us? Being outdoors has never had a greater significance than now. It almost felt illegal to go for a walk earlier this year during the height of the pandemic, and yet more people than ever were outside appreciating nature. Whether people were walking their dogs more, going for runs, or just enjoying not being in the house, this year nature has been there for us and we have started to appreciate it more. Throughout this presentation, we will go through what nature has done for us and how it has influenced us to get to the position we are currently in.
Hi, I'm Clea Auden. I study biology at the University of Bath and I joined the Frozen Ark in September.
Hi, my name is Rianne and I study biology at the University of Bath. I am a professional training year student at the Frozen Ark and I started in October.
Hi, I'm Lydia Hudson. I study biochemistry at the University of Bath and I joined the Frozen Ark in September.
Hi, I'm Holly Lane. I study zoology at Nottingham Trent University and I joined the Frozen Ark in October.
Hi, I'm Oluwatoyin Atoyebi. I study molecular microbiology at the Nottingham Trent University. I joined the Frozen Ark in October.
We are all professional training year students at the Frozen Ark, a UK-based charity whose vision is to conserve the genetic heritage of endangered animals. We are led by an ambitious group of trustees who are inspired by the research conducted by Professor Brian Clark, his wife Dr. Anne Clark and other colleagues. What started with a study to focus on the evolutionary biology of the Partula land snail has now turned into the Frozen Ark collaborating with other zoological biobanks in the UK and abroad to promote sample cryopreservation and connect animal frozen collections through a common database that can be accessed globally.
I have always been fascinated by nature and the environment. This started off when I was very young and I would spend as much time as possible outside, and I absolutely adored watching the nature and discovery channels. Learning about the threats our planet faces encouraged me to study biology at the University of Bath to further comprehend the threats and also the ways to protect nature and our environment.
For as long as I can remember, I have always had an interest in animals, nature, and the outdoors. As a child, I was fascinated by the world around me and would spend hours watching or interacting with animals in the garden. Then, as I grew older, I was introduced to the world of vulnerable or threatened animals and the global need for conservation through the news and wildlife documentaries. As I have always appreciated learning how the natural world functioned, I was intrigued to develop my understanding of ecology and nature, and I decided to study biology at Bath University.
I grew up in North Wales in a very outdoorsy family, which led me to have an almost innate interest in nature. And my mum has always been very passionate about animal conservation, so she made sure to educate me about the need to protect nature from a very young age.
My love for nature and animals started very young when I'd constantly want to be outside, whether it was trying to find frogs in my neighbour's pond or watching birds in car journeys. This has progressed throughout my life into my education, as my knowledge of conservation and biodiversity has driven my desire to help nature even more.
Growing up in West Africa with suitable weather conditions to engage in several outdoor activities all year round, I spent a lot of time outdoor with my extended families and neighbors, listening to moonlight tales from my grandmother. The stories mostly revolve around animals' kingdom and their fun characteristics. I remember vividly the stories of how tortoise became bald and why the hippo lives in water. These experiences made me develop passion for nature and animals, which finally led me to study veterinary medicine for my first degree.
I have been fortunate enough to have worked on various conservation and environmental projects. For example, I went to Mexico as a research assistant and sampled the local flora and fauna. Witnessing the effects of climate change on the natural environment was very eye-opening, and it encouraged me to spend my placement year with a conservation charity.
My interest in nature has led me to become involved with a number of different environmental events and experiences. Growing up in the countryside, I've been surrounded by green spaces, and I was brought up in a household in which we always had pets. This allowed me to become immersed within wildlife and involved in daily animal care from a young age. As I grew older, I was then able to dedicate more of my time to environmental causes that I cared about. For example, I had the incredible opportunity to volunteer at a wildlife sanctuary in Thailand once I'd finished my A-levels. All of these experiences and many others have helped me to establish my personal interests and enthusiasm for the natural world.
At university, I joined an environmental society and got involved in various sustainability projects around campus. This was my first experience working in the field and helped to increase my knowledge and passion for sustainability and conservation. It also demonstrated the type of work involved in combating these issues and how it complemented my own skills and interests, leading me to consider a future career in environmental science.
I am grateful to have been brought up and surrounded by nature reserves and to have been exposed to green spaces at a young age. Growing up in a household with pets, I realised early on in my life I wanted to be involved in animal care. Having such a positive relationship with animals and the environment at a young age has led me to studying zoo biology at university. These experiences were vital in my upbringing as they have now shaped my future into a career in conservation.
During my undergraduate degree, I offered a module on wildlife conservation where we explored the causes of biodiversity loss and what can be done to protect it. My interest was especially towards maintaining the health of captive animals in the zoo. This was through prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of diseases. I was also involved in clinical rotations to ensure these animals are kept in conducive environments, receive adequate nutrition, and are vaccinated when required.
All throughout my life, nature has been so important to me, and whether it's spending time with friends outdoors, exercising, or taking valuable breaks from the stress of everyday life, nature is vital to everyone in so many different ways.
The outdoors has been a central part of my entire personal life. Throughout my life, nature has been a source of both entertainment and relaxation, from keeping me occupied as a child to calming me down in times of stress. It's an invaluable part of my everyday life and helps me to maintain a physically and mentally healthy personal lifestyle.
Nature is essential to my personal life, especially as a disabled person who can't always go on long walks and appreciate everything nature has to offer. Being in close proximity to accessible green spaces is hugely important to my mental health.
Nature has always been something I've been in awe of, and my fascination has driven me to fully immerse myself in my personal life and professional. I particularly found being outside and going for walks during my exams in lockdown gave me a mental escape from university stress.
I have derived a plethora of benefits from interacting with nature. For example, taking a long walk on a cool day has served as my getaway when I'm overwhelmed with work and other life issues.
As a biology student, nature is a substantial part of my studies, especially with regards to fieldwork. Conservation organizations are doing invaluable work, and I am so grateful to be a part of one. With increasing climate awareness, more people are getting involved and making a difference.
Nature is a fundamental aspect of my degree and forms the basis of the majority of work carried out within biology. Working with the Frozen Ark highlights further the vitality of the environment, the devastating effects the natural world faces, and the desperate need to act to conserve the environment.
The work of conservation organisations like the Frozen Ark is vital to protecting the rapidly declining environment and doing our best to halt biodiversity loss. I think 2020 has shown that everyone has a place, in both their professional and personal lives, to help with these efforts.
Having a career in conservation and biodiversity has always been important to me. At university, I'm lucky enough to gain knowledge about halting biodiversity loss and how to make a change. And now, working at the Frozen Ark, I am able to help deliver the message and implement my knowledge to make a real difference for the environment.
As we are in the era of the sixth mass extinction, it is important for us to do all we can to ensure more threatened species does not go extinct. I'm excited to be part of the valuable work that the Frozen Ark is doing, to ensure that the DNA and viable cells of threatened animals are stored for scientific research, for the advancement of knowledge, and for the benefit of humankind.
I have already learned so much working with the Frozen Ark, and I wish to apply this to a career in conservation and environmental sustainability. This field is hugely important, and I hope to contribute in some way. Ultimately, we need to protect nature as it is a fundamental part of everyday life.
This year, I hope to establish a number of skills which are vital to conservation efforts across the world, including research and communication, etc. These I hope to apply to a future career in conservation, either abroad or in the UK. As conservation is a diverse and changing area, I expect to be a part of a range of different roles within my career. Hopefully, our understanding of the environment and the effects we are having on the world will expand and evolve over time.
My experiences in university and the Frozen Ark have made it clear to me that my passions lie in conservation and sustainability. This year, I hope to gain valuable skills that I can use to pursue a career in science communication within the environmental field.
Working at the Frozen Ark has confirmed that I want to pursue careers within conservation and biodiversity. This year, I hope to create more opportunities and expand my knowledge so that I am able to continue a career in conservation and help make a real change.
When there was an opportunity to carry out my professional training here at the Frozen Ark, I knew it's an avenue to contribute my quota to the decline of biodiversity, both in the UK and globally. I hope to gain skills required to promote the conservation of endangered species through research and public engagement.
If you would like to find out more about the Frozen Ark and the work we do, please check out our website and all of our social medias below.